Hi, my name's Doug, and I'm going to show you how to make better PowerPoint presentations. I'm excited for a couple different reasons today. One, I get to talk about something I love, presenting. You're not too excited about presenting? Maybe a little nervous, maybe a lot nervous? Well, there's that old saying that people have a fear of talking in front of a group more than they have a fear of death. But I have some expert advice from folks like Seth Godin, Kawasaki, Gar Reynolds, along with some other tips and some great tools in PowerPoint to help you make better presentations, to help you connect with your audience. Now, the second reason I'm excited, this is an Office Casual special. That means I actually get to leave my office. So I'm going to work on this presentation. I'm going to go work with a coworker right now, talk about it, and you get to come along. So come on, let's go. Hey, Doug, are you in? Is this a good time? Author and lecturer Seth Godin has a rule. He says no more than 6 words on a slide, which is kind of funny because that's 8 words. But what he's meaning is paraphrase, cut down. Now, we can adapt that rule. Let's say there's a bunch of facts about bicycles. We have 4 points here. It's a pretty packed slide with words, but you could use a slide for each fact. Now, a lot of times, your boss or your teacher says, you have to hand in your work. You have to show all those metrics, all those stats, all the research, but they never said where in the presentation you have to put them. So instead of the slide, all PowerPoint presentations come with a note field. Now, the note field, you can cut and paste those bullet points in. You even cut and paste some of those facts, and so you have them right there. So when you hand in the report, everything's there. There's even a way in PowerPoint to print your slide and your notes on the same sheet. We'll get to what's on those slides now that we've taken off those facts a little bit later. The thing is, these are just the slides. You're the presentation. Think of it this way. When you want a new job, you work on that resume really hard, right? But when you get into the interview, how much time do you really spend on the resume? A minute, maybe 2? In the interview, you're presenting yourself, and it should be the same in a PowerPoint presentation. These are just the slides. You need to present and connect with your audience.
Sorry, how many words on a bicycle?
I'm talking about connecting with the audience.
Yeah, sorry, I was daydreaming. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's run it back from there. We'll start at the beginning. Okay. So here's where a lot of presentations happen, in the conference room. And we're going to be using a rule from Kawasaki. It's the 10-20-30 rule. This is a great rule, especially if you have multiple speakers in the same meeting. So the rule is no more than 10 slides, speak for no longer than 20 minutes, and 30-point font size at a minimum on your slides. Now, 30-point font, that's not that big. This is 32-point font here. You can't get a lot of words on the slide. So if a lot of people are used to having very wordy slides, what do you do with those words? Well, you're going to say them. And there is a tool in PowerPoint you can use that can help. It's called Presenter View. Now, a lot of people have used Presenter View and they get a little bothered by it because you can't rehearse it at your desk because you need 2 monitors, or in this case, my computer and the projector. So you want to get into a conference room when no one's there just for a few minutes so you get used to the controls, and then you'll be good to go. To get to Presenter View, you go to the Slideshow tab and then check this box, Use Presenter View. You can also control which monitor you want to put the presentation on. So when you start the presentation, they only see the slides, and you can see what the audience sees right here, but you can see a whole lot more with the Presenter View. Look, all my notes are here. So talking points, statistics, all those things I don't want to bore my audience with on the slide, I can have all my notes here in case I need to reference them. There's also more. There's some navigation here at the bottom, so if I want to go directly to a slide, I don't have to go through the whole deck. There's other navigation here. If you have a large deck, you can go to the slide directly right here. There's also some other things you can do that you may have forgotten or never knew about PowerPoint, like there's a highlighter and ink pens you can use. So if you want to go interactive, you can simply color the slide and it appears to the audience. So a couple points about being in a conference room for a presentation. One, you don't want to sit here. I'm sitting up here for the camera so you can see everything in one shot. What you want to do is sit down here close to the screen. I mean, if you're showing slides, everyone's going to be looking this way anyway. So this way they can see you and the slides at the same time, and you can keep your connection. I mean, don't crane your neck and do the presentation this way. Everything you need here is with the presenter view, so you can keep your focus on the slides and then look up and see your audience. In fact, here's a tip. Leave the lights on so they can see you and you can see them. Keep that connection. And also that way you'll know no one that is sleeping in the middle of your presentation. Right, so when you're starting a presentation, you want to start with some killer slide, something that shows them something interesting in context or story, something that will hook them. You want to start with something like this. No. You don't want to start with a table of contents slide. If you're doing a 6-hour seminar, terrific. But if they're here to see you to give a presentation, start it on the presentation. There's no need to tell them what they're going to be hearing. Author and blogger Gar Reynolds has brought Zen to presentations. Like our other experts, he's a big fan in using images in your presentation. So let's break that down. Let's take this terrible slide we saw before, and we'll take the top bullet point, give it a new theme, and it looks a little better, and then we'll add a photo. Now, photos are great because they can help tell stories, put things in context, help you get rid of words. So we can enlarge the picture, and we have the fewer words, the Seth Godin 6 words now. Now, I could talk about the other points or if those words are necessary, but I don't have to have them on the slide. Now, getting even bigger with a picture, a lot of times people make it into a background, which looks okay. But if you have a big, bold picture, use it. In PowerPoint, you can stretch it over the slide so it goes edge to edge. And that's a pretty powerful image. In fact, I could use all my points about bicycles, I could use this image. But better yet, if you can find an image that has some sort of blank space, you can use that to fill with the words. So there's your story that you can tell your presentation with. All three of our experts are big fans of using images in your presentations. At Office.com, we have over 150,000 free images you can use in your presentation. If you want to be even more selective, we have great partners like iStock Photo that for $1 or $2, you can find high-quality images, find that perfect picture for your presentation. Now, a couple tips about presenting in an auditorium like this. One, if you notice, I'm nowhere near the podium. I don't have my notes, so practice, practice, practice. Know your speech is the best tip. But the other thing is, we have a large stage here, and you may have a tendency to pace, especially if you have a lot of nervous energy or you're just excited about doing it. But if you root yourself, the energy can come through your voice and the way you connect with your audience. So with these tips, I hope the fear of giving a presentation is a little less than the fear of death. Find more at Office.com.